Fear number 2, fear of success. So most of us will not think that we will be fearful about success also. कैसे होते हैं fear of success से fearful? बहुत सारे लोग आएंगे, many people will come, many people will ask for money, there will be too much crowd, and people will ask me so many of questions. I have to tell them my secrets, all this. And then there will be competition. Have you ever heard and thought of these kind of fears? So these also will be the fears of success. So don't you think that these are very absurd kind of fears? But one fear, मेरे को एक fear का, एक success का fear था, है. बहुत सारे पैसे जब आते हैं, सक्सेस जब होता है, तो आप अटेंशन ड्रॉ करते हैं, and then people will ask so many questions of which you will not have the answer, and when you don't have the answers, maybe that will put you in trouble. Why? Because पिछले मुझे भी बहुत सारे जब भी मुझे कोई किसी चीज का आंसर नहीं पता होता है, जब आई एम नॉट वेरी कन्विंस्ड अबाउट कि क्या हुआ एक्चुअली, बहुत सारी चीजें लाइफ में होती है जिसका कुछ पता नहीं होता. So then you become fearful. I have that kind of fear. So कितना तक है, कितना justifiable है, और how to deal with that? Let us study Lewis Howes chapter 5, Law of Greatness, Fear of Success. Even as a little girl, Jamie Kern Lima loved the beauty industry. She would pore over magazines and admire the models who, with their even complexions and slender forms, represented the American ideal. Jamie got the message. She would have to look like that too if the world was to love her. But it wasn't long before Jamie's love for stories called her into the public eye and in front of cameras. She thought she had arrived when she landed a job as a news anchor. Then, just when she thought she had finally achieved that ideal image, her skin developed unusual red rash like bumps. The horror of her new reality struck her during a live report when the producer told her about some kind of substance on her face. Wipe your face, her earpiece repeated. Wipe it off. But no matter how hard she rocked, it would not wipe it off. To her dismay, Jamie learned she had developed a skin condition called rosacea. She searched the spectrum from the cheapest to the most expensive cosmetics available, but nothing masked the red, bumpy patches on her face. She wondered how long it would be before her viewers left her, and she lost her job. So मेरे भी fear में फेस में शायद कुछ पिगमेंटेशन है, और उसका मुझे कॉन्शियसनेस भी है. कॉन्शियसली आई थिंक आई हैव डेवलप्ड समथिंग. As she reflected on that trying season, Jamie shared with me her perspective now. Although she had no idea at that time her setback was a setup. As she grappled with every brand of cosmetics letting her down, her mindset began to change. She wondered, why aren't there any products for me? Why don't any of these models look like me? What came next was one of the bravest moves a person could make. आप जब दूसरे की तरह नहीं लगते हो, जब despite thousands of trial, आप उस तरह का नहीं हो सकते हो, आपका inner calling उस तरह का नहीं है, then you should know that this is something unique about you. आप उस भीड़ में कभी भी शामिल नहीं हो सकते हो. You have to establish your unique identity. और वो तब होता है जब आप इसको recognize करते हो. This is an opportunity given to you. Success हो जाता है तो आप वो ये choice लेते ही नहीं. So अभी तक अगर आपके पास सिर्फ failure आया हुआ है, then आप ये जानिए know that there is some success which is very unique to you is about to be happening. बस आप ये फेल्योर होते होते, ये फेल्योर को अटेंड करते करते, you will come to that kind of situation when there will be success. अभी आपको शुरू से हिंट कैसे होगा? Unless you eliminate certain things, you will not reach the solution that you will be wanting. Even though you try, there will be something which will prevent you from taking that suggestion unless you yourself eliminate that. आप खुद से eliminate नहीं करोगे तो वो कभी जाएगा ही नहीं. So this is a signal even to me at this stage. Jamie left her dream job in pursuit of a new vision. She developed a business plan to meet the need for rosacea-friendly cosmetics. As she acted on her plan, she developed a new company called IT Cosmetics and a product specially made for sufferers of rosacea. Despite its proven effectiveness, all the beauty retailers she admired, Sephora, Ulta, QVC, rejected her product. At one point, she had less than $1,000 in her personal and company bank accounts combined, but she was undeterred. हमेशा ही सोचिए कि अगर आप किसी का सुन नहीं रहे हैं, if you are very convinced about what you are doing, then there is a solution. You are heading for a solution. At what felt like a particularly great pitch to a private equity firm, Jamie presented her business plan, product, budget, and entire vision. At the end, she stood before the panel. She felt certain she was about to finally receive the financial backing she needed to properly market her product. We want to congratulate you on your product. The head investor began. She saw her dream manifesting as she heard, "We think that it's awesome." And then came the unexpected. "We want to wish you the best, but we are going to pass on investing in IT Cosmetics." She could hardly believe it. If she wasn't going to walk away with funding, then she at least wanted some feedback. She held her composure, took a deep breath, and asked the burning question, "Can you tell me why?" He looked her over, just 3 feet away from where she stood. "Do you really want me to be honest with you?" With trepidation, Jamie nodded her head. "I just don't think women will buy makeup from someone who looks like you, with your body and your weight." Jamie walked away from that interaction numb and shocked. While crying in her car, she remembered the motivation behind her efforts and realized this man, the one who saw her appearance as a hindrance, was exactly why her business had to work. He is just as much impacted by the definition of beauty as everyone else out there. Finally, all her past experiences and countless hours comparing herself to unrealistic standards, her fears about her skin condition, and her self-doubt all culminated into one undeniable need. Her meaningful mission became clear. She needed to create a beauty brand for the people. Her ads would show people of all ages, skin types, and gender expressions. She set out to change the culture of beauty for every little girl out there who is about to start doubting herself, and every grown person who still does. हम में से, आप में से कितने हैं जिनको ये लगता है कि आप गुड लुकिंग नहीं? आप में से बहुत सारी कमियां हैं. आपके लुक में बहुत सारी कमियां हो सकती हैं. आप सभी कोई बहुत सारा हैंडसम या बहुत सारा ब्यूटीफुल शायद नहीं, but that doesn't mean you will doubt about your beauty. ऐसे बहुत सारे लोगों को आपने देखा होगा जो अच्छे नहीं दिखते शायद, बट गुड लुकिंग होते हैं. आपको बहुत प्लेजेंट लगते हैं, मुझे भी लगते हैं. क्या मैं और आप बहुत सुंदर नहीं होते हुए भी गुड लुकिंग हो सकते हैं? ये क्वेश्चन का आंसर चलिए ढूंढते हैं. इनको भी ये क्वेश्चन का आंसर पता करना था. More motivated than ever, Jamie poured her heart and soul into IT cosmetics, and she achieved incredible success. But with the success came even more challenges. The kind of challenges many people fear so much that they don't even try to succeed. She spent nearly 10 years working 100-hour weeks, rarely seeing friends or family. She had finally found success, but success had become unhealthy and unsustainable. Jamie attempted to work at an unrealistic pace because no matter how much success she had, each one could be her last, and she had to strive while the iron was hot. It was at this point that the cosmetics giant, L'Oreal, recognized the revolutionary brand that Jamie had built. They offered her $1.2 billion for IT cosmetics. Suddenly, she was faced with a choice: accept L'Oreal's offer or go public. By accepting the offer, she would make more money than she could have imagined during all those years struggling to get her idea off the ground. And by going public and maintaining control over the company, she would probably continue working herself to adjust. But just like when she felt her job as a new anchor, Jamie again felt that she needed to leave her comfort zone to pursue something new. She chose to stop chasing success and being constantly afraid of losing it. Jamie sold IT cosmetics and stepped down as CEO. Since then, she has maintained a happier 20-hour work week, pursuing other greatness opportunities. For example, in 2021, she published Believe It, How to Go from Underestimated to Unstoppable, now a New York Times bestseller. From setback to setup. It seems logical that people would fear failure because no one wants to fail. Failure seems to be antithesis to greatness, but there is a second fear in the doubt diagram that is less intuitive: the fear of success. This one may seem illogical at first. After all, isn't success what we all want? When success is the finish line, it can be easy to run the race. But what will happen after you cross the finish line? How will you lead a growing organization? What if you have deal with the press or the public spotlight? What if people take advantage of you and you lose money and look stupid doing it? That is where doubt can creep in and hold you back. କେତେବେଳେ ଗୋଟେ କୋଇ ଶାନ୍ତିରେ କେହି କାନ୍ଦା ନାଇଁ କରିପାରେ ସବୁବେଳେ ଗୋଟେ ଡିଷ୍ଟରବେନ୍ସ ଗୋଟେ ଅବଷ୍ଟାକଲ ସବୁବେଳେ ଥିବା ମରିଯା and hold you back from even attempting to succeed. How will I keep up the pace? Will I be able to understand the pressure or the spotlight? What if I achieve it and still don't feel fulfilled? What if I'm not good enough to succeed again? Let us be honest. There is some validity in these questions, but you can't let them stifle you. If they do, the world will miss out on your greatness and never see the unique value only you can provide. I have asked a handful of people who recently have had a rise of success, massive growth of followers online, more fame and more money and opportunities coming their way than they had before, to rate themselves on self-love scale from 1 to 10. 10 meant they fully love and accept themselves and are fulfilled and peaceful inside. And 1 means they hate themselves and don't accept anything about who they are. They all gave me a number of where they were. Then I asked them to go back to the day before all the success and fame started and give me a number. The answers blew my mind. Even though from the outside looking in, their success looks amazing, they all scored themselves higher before the success. No wonder so many people are afraid. That is why the second fear you must break up with this is the fear of success. Know when to walk away. When Jamie saw her business taking off, her imposter syndrome told her she couldn't handle it, that it was only a matter of time before her success spiraled out of her control. She told me the only thing that kept her going in those times of self doubt was her enduring belief in the mission, that her meaningful mission was bigger than herself. The point of success, though, isn't the end of self doubt. It is normal to be tempted to fear you won't be able to keep up with the demands of your newfound success. This fear can cause you to self sabotage, running yourself ragged to prove you are enough. That all too common imposter syndrome can convince you your success is a fluke, making you short sighted. You might feel like Jamie did, that you have to make the most of your success while it lasts. But that scarcity mindset is not a greatness mindset. You have to plan for long term success in pursuit of your meaningful mission. And part of that plan needs to include pacing yourself. Sometimes success can mean closing a comfortable chapter and beginning a new uncomfortable one. In other words, you may need to shift gears. Dr. Phil, a mental health professional and popular TV show host, shared his insight with me. The worst thing you could ever do is pursue the wrong dream. Or if you dream, your dream changes and you don't change with it. Dr. Phil knows a little about shifting gears. Before he was a television star, he ran into successful psychology practices. However, he told himself from the beginning that if he ever got to the point where the impact he was having on people's lives no longer fulfilled him, he had to stop. That is exactly what happened when he returned to his practice after Christmas break one year. He saw his appointment book filled for the entire next year and thought, I don't want to do this anymore. In what he calls his gut check moment, he was at risk of staying in a place of comfortable success that was not satisfying. Instead, he referred all his patients to others and shut down his practice. Why? His view of success had changed. Phil has made shifting gears a habit on his path to greatness. He also started a company in trial sciences called CSI. The company helped with trial strategy, jury selection, mock trials, and shadow juries and trials, upon which the CBS television drama Bull is based. Again, Phil was successful in this business. He even represented Oprah Winfrey in the Mad Cow case in Amarillo. Yet, after about 15 years of success, he felt stuck again. I had done everything you could do. I represented every major airline in the world. I represented all the 9 major film studios out here. I represented half of the Fortune 100. I was involved in tobacco litigation, breast implant litigation, and everything you could imagine. I have done virtually everything you can do in that profession. That is when he realized it was time to do something different. What he created was the now famous Dr. Phil television show. But he was only able to create that show because he didn't let a fear of what success might bring limit him. Instead, he took control of his own destiny. A mark of greatness is the understanding that success itself isn't the end game. Greatness is being willing to change your definition of success as you pursue your meaningful mission. One step at a time. Here is the thing about greatness. Greatness is not about being complete at the start, but it is about being enough, even while you are still growing, developing, and changing. And that is where the tension comes in. You already are enough where you are in this moment, and you are always becoming more. If you aren't willing to become more, then ultimately you aren't willing to grow into the evolution of your own greatness either. Greatness is a process that is best pursued one step at a time. As the CEO of Attack Athletics, Tim Grover, a businessman and personal trainer, is known around the world for his work with elite athletes across all sports, including the NBA, NFL, MLB, and even Olympics athletes. He was Michael Jordan's trainer when Jordan won multiple NBA World Championships, and Kobe Bryant's trainer too. He told me that everyone is always looking for a specific number of steps that lead to success. But the truth is, there are an infinite number of steps because there are an infinite number of definitions of success. It doesn't matter how long you have been doing it. Those steps are constantly shifting. Those steps never end. And you just can't climb steps. Sometimes you have got to crawl. And when you finally get to the top, everything shifts and you are at the bottom again. Wait, what? The top is the bottom again? You may get to the top and think you have made it. You look back at where you have come from and feel great. Then you immediately look forward to whatever is next and realize you are back on step one. What you thought was the top is the beginning. And that is when most people just quit. The journey never ends. When we realize the truth, we can guard against giving into the fear of success. When the questions start again and greatness seems to fade into the distance, we can remember that the goal is not passing specific success checkpoints, but pursuing greatness. I know what team meant. I spent so many years, my entire lifetime really, preparing to host the School of Greatness podcast. Yet, after 10 years at the time of this book launching, I feel like I'm just getting started. Too many people think that constant pursuit of greatness sounds exhausting, so they quit before they begin. In reality, I find it comforting because it means I don't have to have all the skills to get started. With the reassurance that I don't have to have it all figured out, every step I make becomes a sort of self-contained success. I don't need to have answers for what comes after I achieve success. I just need to push past my fears right now and move forward one step at a time. Here is the truth. You can and will become who and what you need to be on the journey to greatness. In fact, that is the only way to do it. That is why Amy Cuddy rejects the idea of fake it till you make it. She has her own version of the saying, fake it till you become it. Fake it till you make it means you are never authentic, never actually good enough. Fake it till you become it means you anticipate growing and becoming the version of yourself you are practicing. Amy calls this tricking yourself into believing in yourself. I call it a cool tool for use in cultivating the greatness mindset. We must be willing to face the things we fear by going all in on them. Until those fears disappear and we come out the other side with a new set of skills and inner beliefs. This reframing practice comes back to defeating that imposter syndrome. Even if you aren't everything you need to be for success right now, you are enough to start right now. Only when you pursue growth, push past the fear, and become authentic, can you begin to position yourself to enjoy success on the journey. Think different. It is those long stretches and smooth sailing that are actually most dangerous because too much success can cause you to let your guard down. And that is when failure can hit you the hardest. To avoid that, you have to think differently. From 1997 to 2002, Apple ran an ad campaign called Think Different. In it, they shared powerful black and white photographs of creative visionaries ranging from Albert Einstein to Bob Dylan. America Earhart to Jane Goodall, Martin Luther King Jr. to Muhammad Ali, Jim Henson with Kermit the Frog to John Lennon and Yoko Ono, and Frank Lloyd Wright to Pablo Picasso. All of these people choose to think different. To overcome the fear of success, you may need to do the same thing. Think differently. Let us return to JMA's story. As her success snowballed, it became a threat to her quality of life because of self-doubt. The more she succeeded, the more she feared losing it all and began to reject the constant struggle to keep up the pace. That is when she had to think differently. Once she believed in her own success and saw it was not a temporary thing, she realized she couldn't keep working 100-hour weeks. She began to learn to have faith in this process, trusting that some things could wait for the next day. As she told me, she did not need to work 100-hour weeks to build a billion-dollar company. According to Team Grover, we should embrace the change that success can bring as a way out of our routines and see the wins in that opportunity. As Team and I talked, he suggested we move forward on the journey and experience things that might cause us to fear and convert them to opportunities by choosing to see them through that lens. Count them as wins, he suggested, not as losses or negatives. It's a simple but critical mindset shift. You can't let the fear of actually getting what you want inhibit you. Keep your perspectives. Yes, sometimes winning can feel like losing. We can grow to hate the very situation we once longed for. When you find yourself afraid of success or maybe resenting the success you have recently achieved, remember that change is uncomfortable but inevitable. You can't choose whether change happens, but you can choose how you change. Remember, your role models have insecurities too. Whoever they are, I guarantee they have had to face the same fears and struggles. When you are tempted to believe you aren't good enough or aren't prepared enough to take on the responsibility of greatness, just take the next easy step and know you are enough and you are becoming more. Engaging greatness. As I mentioned, I'll provide you with a comprehensive fear conversion toolkit at the end of this section to help you take action to overcome the barriers of greatness. For now, ask yourself some simple questions. To what extent do you struggle to overcome the fear of success? How has this fear held you back from wholeheartedly pursuing your meaningful mission? List any success fears you have now while they're fresh in your mind. So, do you have all those things listed out? And believe me, सोचिए, it is a real thing. मुझे भी आया, आपको भी आता होगा. And each of us have दिमाग के पीछे शायद वो थोड़ा सा डर है. डर अगर नहीं होता तो सक्सेस हमारे सामने होता. Because we are, by fearing, we are repelling success. डर के हम सक्सेस को थोड़ा वेट करवाने के लिए बोल दे रहे हैं. If you understand this, then we have understood the chapter well. So that is chapter 5 from Lewis Howes, Year of Success. Thank you for watching.